You're watching an Involve Me tutorial on score-based outcomes. Score-based outcome projects are projects in which each answer has a numeric value assigned to it. These values are added up to the final score or used for a final score calculation. Based on the final score value, the desired outcome page will be shown. You can map score ranges to outcome pages in order to define which outcome page to show in the end. For a very simple example, you can create a test and then have a threshold for when somebody passes and when somebody fails. Of course, you can have as many different outcomes and ranges as you would like. So, for example, this is how the ranges could look like, but we're going to get more in depth into how this actually works in just a second. The elements which you can use to contribute to your final score are multiple choice, image choice, drop down, and the slider and rating, however, only if you use custom score calculation. First, you need to decide how many outcome pages you'd actually like to have. So basically, how many different outcomes you want your users to be able to reach. You can create new ones simply by clicking the plus icon on the bottom right, and then just creating a name for it and clicking create. Of course, you can then delete it and modify it however you'd like. So what data do the calculations actually take? Let me click on an element and then on the right side scroll down, and here you can see the different values assigned to each of the answers. As you can see, you can have negative values, large positive values, you could even have 0. And if you want to keep things simple, you can uncheck the individual score calculation and then mark which answers are correct, and then only the correct answer will have a point value attached to it, and it will always be a single point. In case you have multiple choices and you would deselect the individual score calculation, you could select multiple correct answers. After you set up all the values, it is time to set up the score calculation logic. Let's start by defining the rules for your scores and the ranges. You get here by clicking on the cogwheel icon at the bottom of your page, and here you can select the ranges for each of the pages. As you can see, you have 3 options to base your outcome points on: individual score, which is what we're on right now, correctly answered questions, which is what we went through a minute ago, and then custom score calculation, which we will get into in a second. So here you simply assign a value to each of the pages. You can move them up and down. So you set up the ranges on the right, and then you drag and drop the pages that you would like to correspond to those ranges. And as you can see, the ranges stay put. So for example, I could set this, the upper bound, to 100, and watch what happens here. The lower bound for the range for the next category automatically adjusts itself. So as you can see, each possible outcome score is always linked to an outcome page. If your scoring needs to be very particular and specific, you can create custom score calculation. And here you could set up your own equations exactly how you would like. So for example, if I wanted to reach my result by multiplying Q1 with Q2, and then I will put all of this in parentheses, you could customize this to an exact formula that you would like to see. And conveniently, on the left side, you can exactly see which question is what. So you don't have to constantly go back and forth and double check. So you can build this out in any way that you'd like. And then at the bottom, again, either rename or reorder the outcomes, and then set your desired ranges. And finally, to increase the engagement with your participant, you can include the social share element and enable them to share their outcome. So I could just drag and drop the social share to the page. And again, this would share their specific personalized outcome. And finally, I'm going to run through the project so that you can see how an audience member could interact with a project like this. I'm going to select some answers, and then just by clicking See Credit Score, I see that my answer is I have a good credit score of 420, and also this template actually included an AI element, so I am getting a custom recommendation based exactly on my outcome. And of course, as we talked about, we've included the social share functions, so I could either share it on Facebook or on X. And just like that, you know how projects using score-based outcomes work. If you need more support, go to help.involve.me. And good luck getting involved.